Alright, good afternoon, Arkansas. This is Assistant Chief Forecaster coming back here once again here to give you guys an update on the winter storm that's going on across Arkansas here. So, first and foremost, you're not going to see my face right off the bat. You're going to see this map because there's a lot of people that were complaining about not seeing the map yesterday, etc. with our live stream. So, I hope everybody can see this. This is about as big as I can get this map to be. But this is a general idea of what's going on right now. Winter storm warning for the majority of Arkansas. You've got the ice storm warning across eastern Arkansas, and then the winter weather advisory down there in southern Arkansas at this point here. So that's what we got going on at this time here, guys. I'm going to go over our thoughts, and then I'm going to go straight to radar here. So as you guys know, the cold front is now pushing through Arkansas. It's already passed through central Arkansas. We have went from 62 here in the weather center down to 41 with a north wind coming at about 10 to 15 miles per hour. So if you notice that change behind the front, guys, it got cold in quickly behind the front here. So this is what we got going at this point. And like I said before, I hope everybody can see this map. I try to make it as big as I possibly can on here so everybody can see what's going on at this point. So I'm going to go through this step by step. And I'm also going to talk about a little bit of safety stuff too. So right now I'm looking at RDOT. There's not much on the roads at this point. Take advantage of that, guys. Take advantage of the quiet period right now, because I promise you it's going to get rough later on this evening and into the night. So before, this is our winter storm precipitation map. This has not changed from yesterday. It's still the same. That's the reason why you see the no change from yesterday. You have the snow and sleet across northwest Arkansas, rain to sleet to snow, and keep in mind, this is for the second round. The first one came through this morning. Some folks up there in northern Arkansas has already seen winter precipitation this morning here, with some folks seeing a little bit of here and there sleet, snow, lots of reports of a glaze across northern Arkansas and northwestern Arkansas. So as I said before, that's what we're looking at this point. And then what's going to happen later on, as we get towards late tonight into tomorrow, northwest Arkansas, you should completely transition over to snow. You guys could even see some heavy snow up there as well. Now let's progress a little bit further to the south and east here. Right now we're talking from freezing rain to sleet across central down into north central Arkansas at this point, and then rain to freezing rain / sleet to snow across the orange area here, guys. So if y'all are having any problems with the live stream, please back out, come back in. It's a Facebook issue. I'm not sure what the issue is, but as I said before, no changes to the forecast. All of this is available on the page as well, so be sure to go look at the page. All of that's still on the page from yesterday. So the black line, everybody's gonna be wondering where the black line is. That means significant sleet / freezing rain is likely at this point. National Weather Service all across the board, Tulsa, Little Rock, Memphis, Shreveport, Jackson, they're all in agreement that this is going to be a significant winter storm / ice storm for us here in Arkansas. So travel is extremely discouraged late tonight, and especially during the day tomorrow here. So South Arkansas from yesterday, remember you were in cold rain. Now you were talking about ice all the way down to even some ports down into northern Louisiana at this time. So that's what we have at this point. I'm going to go ahead and go through this. Now, this is the freezing rain accumulation right now. So this has changed somewhat. This was posted earlier on this morning, but this has changed just a little bit here. So this is not accounting for what happened up there in northern northwestern Arkansas already. Okay, we're talking about 1/4 of an inch of ice upwards to 4/10 of an inch of ice. Okay, this is going to be significant ice, guys. I know a lot of people are skeptical, not wanting to believe this. You gotta believe it, folks. Okay, National Weather Service are using strong wording, especially in eastern Arkansas, about this ice. It is a dangerous situation, guys. You do not want to underestimate this event. Okay, we're talking upwards to 1/2 inch of ice across central Arkansas, points east from there, and then you can see the darker colors over there in eastern Arkansas. Some places could get upwards to 1 inch of ice over there in eastern Arkansas. That's why you're under the ice storm warning at this point. Not only this, but we're talking 30 to 35 mile per hour wind gusts along with this as well. You go further south, your ice totals come down just a bit, but not by much. You're still looking at probably a glaze to 1/10 of an inch of ice down there in southern Arkansas. So there's, like I said before, down there in South Arkansas, as I said before, I know you guys were talking about rain down there at some point This is mainly going to be the potential of freezing rain down there in South Arkansas now. And then up there in central and eastern Arkansas is definitely the area we're going to have to watch as we get towards this evening and into the night here. And folks, I want to stress, we have a lot of moderators on this page, okay? No need for the negative comments, no need for bashing or anything like that. Let's keep it civil. This is a very, very bad situation. We got a winter storm coming for Arkansas, guys. Let's act professional. All right, so just keep that in mind. I appreciate y'all for being here. I'm just kind of going over everything at this point. Now, I talked about this yesterday. Now, this is what's called the ice damage index. And basically, it goes from 0 to 5. All right? Right now, I'm sitting at about 3 to 4. I haven't gone 5 yet. I've almost did it in eastern Arkansas. But at 4 is going to be pretty good for this particular situation. It takes a lot to get a 5. You're talking more an inch to greater amounts of ice in this area here. So we'll have to kind of fine tune this as we need it here. But this is the map here, and I'm going to zoom this down so you guys can see what I'm talking about here, okay? So this was posted on the page earlier, by the way. All right, so you're not missing anything. This is just reiterating everything that's already on the page at this point. Okay, so as you can see across eastern Arkansas, a 4 right now. We're talking prolonged and widespread power outages in those areas. Outages lasting a couple of days. Okay, the 3 area, same thing. Numerous to possibly upwards to widespread power outages. That's from much of central to northeastern Arkansas and especially eastern Arkansas. Okay, and then you start talking to 2s. That's the last little bit of effects. A couple of power outages could be possible in the 2s areas. That's from southwest Arkansas to southern. And then you have the 1 area where maybe an outage or 2 could occur with the freezing rain. This is strictly freezing rain, by the way. This is not sleet or snow. This is strictly freezing rain with this, okay? So that's what I got at this point. We're going to go jump straight into radar, and then I'm going to try to tackle some questions at this time here. So bear with me for just a bit. Also, my face is going to come back as soon as I put this radar up here. So let's go ahead and talk about that real fast. I'm going to get the radar up, and I'm going to zoom this over so you guys can get the radar at this time here, okay? So, all right. Okay, let me see if I can get that up for you guys here. But as said before, guys, main threat for today, this is going to be pretty good. It's talking late this evening and into the night here. So I'm going to kind of zoom this down so you guys can see the radar right now here. So I've done something with the radar, by the way. This is now the 32-degree line, where you see the 32-degree line at this point here, okay? So we're going to do something like this. As a matter of fact, give me 1 second. I'm going to try to switch this over to this real fast, okay? So there we go. So there's that. All right, and I'm going to zoom down to the radar here so you can see what's going on the radar right now. The frontal boundaries through here. By the way, those temperatures are a little bit too warm here in Little Rock. I think that was just an old reading from earlier here, but you can see what the temperatures here at this point here. So the temperatures are falling pretty quickly. There's a new update with that, but the blue area that you're seeing back up here, that is the freezing line coming in at this point. So I'm going to kind of clear the radar off for a little bit so you guys can see what I'm talking about. So where this line is, that is where the freezing line is. It's kind of stuck up here in northwestern Arkansas for the time being. Keep in mind, what's going to happen is this freezing line is going to push southward as we get towards this evening into the night. The first low is pushing through Arkansas right now. That's why you're having the light freezing rain up here, maybe a little bit of snow up here already across north central Arkansas, okay? Which is good because that tells me that your cold air aloft is starting to get here too, which could easily be our best friend, especially up here in central and northeastern Arkansas. But we'll have to wait and see on all that. But as said before, this is where that 32-degree line is at this time here, okay? It's across northern Arkansas, and it's making its way to northeastern Arkansas. Everybody else right now, you can see the temperatures falling. Look at Little Rock. We went from the 60s to the 40s within less than an hour. Southern Arkansas, you're still in the 60s at this point, but you can see the frontal boundary making its way southward. Okay, so the frontal boundary is probably just outside of Pine Bluff right now, just passed over to Queen, and it's making its way southward at this point. I'm going to take this out, and I'm going to show you guys what I'm talking about here. So everybody that's saying that it's not going to happen or anything like that, you are dead wrong. This is the main event back out here towards the west, okay? And I'm going to give you a little bit of perspective with this system. Your system's here, by the way, in South Texas. It is about probably 50 miles south to where it was originally supposed to track. So that may help us out with the cold air later on. However, it's still a wait and see on that. We'll have to wait and see what happens as we get towards tonight with the cold air kind of making it towards south here. But you can see back out here towards the west, that is where your system is coming out at this point. It is making its way towards Arkansas. This is the main event that's coming out here. The first wave is moving through. This is the main event that's coming out at this point here. You can see a lot of snow, freezing rain, and sleet ongoing across western Texas at this point, coming now into Oklahoma. So they're just now getting started with their winter storm out here towards Oklahoma and Texas. This will carry its way into Arkansas as we get towards later tonight and into the early part of your Thursday, dragging throughout much of the day on Thursday, and then going ending by the time we get towards Thursday evening and into Thursday night. There is some computer model guidance that wants to have another wave come through Thursday night and the early Friday morning, but it's still a wait and see on all that at this point. So with the ground temperatures, by the way, ground temperatures, throw them out at this point. When you're talking about ice, especially sleet, it really does not matter what ground temperatures here. Ground temperatures right now about 40s to low 50s. So with this amount of cold air coming in, already settling in, by the way, but before the event, that's what's going to drop your ground temperatures, and that's what's going to make it for the ice accumulation or even snow accumulations here, because you're getting the cold air here first. Your cold air is getting here before the system. So that's what you wanted to see whenever to get winter weather here in Arkansas. You want the cold air to get here first before you start talking about winter weather here. So, and so 4 days of temperature drop here. You're now at 43 degrees. As a matter of fact, the weather center is coming in at 41. So the temperatures are falling really, really fast through here. This area here just dropped from 57. You can see down to 46 now. Northern Arkansas, you are now in the 30s. You're still clinging to the 60s down here in southern Arkansas here, but enjoy that warmth while it's there. I promise you, enjoy it while it's here. Because it's going to get a lot colder by the time we get towards this evening and into the night here, guys. So I'm going to stop radar for just a bit, and I'm going to go ahead and pull up Futurecast. I'm going to kind of show you guys an example of what we're looking at here. So bear with me for just a bit. I'm going to get that information up for you guys here. So we're going to use the HR. HR is doing a relatively good job with this. And also, I saw the Euro. The Euro is wanting to bring a significant ice storm to central and eastern Arkansas. I'll have to show you guys that here in a little bit. But as you can see, I'm going to take this out to reflectivity. And bear me for just a bit. I'm going to go back to right around 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So it'll be loading up here shortly, guys. But you can see what I'm talking about here. It's going to start really picking up as we get towards this afternoon and into this evening here. So main timing, we're talking right around 7 o'clock this evening across western Arkansas. Then it's going to start dragging towards central Arkansas as we get towards later this evening into the night here. So bear me for just a bit. I got to load. I forgot I have to load this first before I load the precipitation type. So it's going to come up here just shortly here. So if I can't use that one, let's use the NAM. If I can't pull it up on here, I'll just show you guys what our model software here. So let's talk about temperatures too, because temperatures are going to be pretty chilly in this area here. I'm going to see if I'm getting this going at this time. Okay, so this is right here. So this is right now, what you're looking at here is the HR's freezing line. That's the freezing line coming in. So you can see what it's doing by the time we get towards 5 o'clock. We're already below freezing up here in northern Arkansas. So there's your timing here. That's the current time, and then there's your timing up here just below that. So the blue area that you're seeing, pay attention to this, because I've removed the other temperatures and had 32 and below. So that's what it has at this point across northern Arkansas here by the time we get towards 5 o'clock. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of loop this through, and you're going to see the freezing line kind of crash its way down into central and into southern Arkansas by this point. Okay, so look at there. As you can see, by the time we get towards that point, you're crashing in temperatures by this time here, guys. So keep that in mind. I'm going to take this off for a bit, okay? And you can see what it does, okay? Take this out just a little bit here. So that's around 5 o'clock. That's 6, and that's 7. You see the freezing line making its way down into central Arkansas. So by around 11 to midnight tonight, it should be here in central Arkansas. And as you can see, much of northern Arkansas is below freezing already, okay? And even in some cases, you're in the teens up here already, okay? But I'm going to take this out a little bit. By the way, my software is still loading up, so Kind of give it a second or two, let it catch up with itself. All right, but you can see what it means here. You saw it just for a brief bit, okay? So that's about 11 o'clock already. There's the 32-degree line making its way down into central Arkansas here. And then by the time we get towards 2 o'clock, there's your freezing line here. And look how far south that freezing line gets, down into southern Arkansas, okay? That's why you have icing problems down here at this point. All right, so a lot of cold temperatures up here. You're in the teens already in northern Arkansas with snow. You got temperatures 28, 29 degrees with freezing rain and sleet here in central Arkansas. You don't want that at all. All right, so we're going to put over the precipitation type. Hopefully I can get that loaded up on here. If I can't, then I'll just have to show you guys that. So, all right, so it loaded up for just a second here. If software issues, guys, I apologize for that. But you can see the difference on what I'm talking about with that freezing line kind of pushing its way down southward here. So anywhere along and behind this line, you're talking about freezing rain, sleet, even the potential of snow coming in behind this here. So I'm going to clear this off, and we're going to jump over to the other run real quickly here. So bear me for just a bit. I'm going to switch this over to here. So we're going to go over here, and we're going to go switch this over to this one. Okay, so there's the HR coming in. Okay, so this was basically I was trying to show you. My software decided to not act accordingly to me today. So there it is coming in. So about 7 o'clock, okay, should start moving into eastern Arkansas. So we're talking 8, 9, 10 o'clock across western Arkansas here. And our best case scenario over here, by the way, is that we go straight to snow across northwestern Arkansas. Okay, you go straight to snow over here. You completely miss the ice, and you go straight to snow in northwestern Arkansas. Okay, that's what you want to see. All right, and now we take this out. Let's take this out a little bit further. Okay, let me see if I can get this going here. All right, so that's 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock over here. Okay, and you can see what I'm talking about here. So 11 o'clock, now you're talking snow here in northwestern Arkansas. You're talking to freezing rain across much of north central and northeastern Arkansas, down into western Arkansas here, and then southwest, you're going to be a rain for the start, which is something you want. You want a cold rain out of this, but I don't think you're going to have the majority of cold rain down there in South Arkansas. I think you're going to have kind of the battle zone between rain and freezing rain down here in southern Arkansas here. Now, I'm going to take this out just a little bit further, and you're going to see how the precipitation really fills in across central Arkansas by the time we get towards first thing in the morning. Now, another thing that we're going to have to watch as we get towards first thing in the morning is what's called in layman's terms, kind of like an outflow boundary. Okay, a boundary that sets up here in central Arkansas. James Bryan on Twitter, he made a good point about this. It's about that 700 millibar level. But basically what happens is along that front that stalls out in central Arkansas, and I wish I could pull it up on here so you guys can see what I'm talking about. So let me see if I can try to pull it up on here real fast. Alright, so there's 700 millibar level here. So there's the winds coming in. By the way, there's going to be a lot of wind with this, by the way. I'm going to go to gusts real fast while I'm here. And let's talk about the gusts real quick. So you're talking 20 to 25 mile per hour wind gusts with this. And it's really going to start picking up as we get towards later in the day here. But I can't show you that boundary on here. I have to show it in a different post. But you can see what I'm talking about here. So it basically, what you want to look for here, it sets up across central Arkansas, and that's a whole different run. We're going to go back to 18Z, and we're going to show what I'm talking about here. So basically what happens, right around first thing in the morning, okay, right there in central Arkansas, where you're seeing the darker purples here in central Arkansas, that is rain, that's freezing rain, excuse me, and sleet kind of combining, kind of a mix of freezing rain and sleet here in central Arkansas, okay? And then what's going to happen is as we get later on, it should completely transition over to freezing rain. It should completely change over to sleet, excuse me. And then what's going to happen here, and this is what the HR wants to do, by the way. Look at here. By the time we get towards Thursday evening, some places could see snow on the backside of this. It transitions everybody, majority of everyone over to snow by the time we end this. And then look at here. Additional precipitation builds as we get towards late tomorrow night and in the early part of your Friday here. So this is not going to be over just yet, okay? This may drag on all the way until probably first thing Friday morning. That's why we're saying Friday travel is going to be a nightmare. I would not suggest traveling on Thursday by this point, okay? But you can see what it does. I'm going to back this up a bit. And another thing that I'm concerned about, okay, there's your freezing rain coming in. All right, and another thing I'm concerned about here, you see these darker oranges down here in southern Arkansas? There could be some thunderstorms moving into central Arkansas. That's another thing that I'm worried about as well. So we'll have to watch this closely. At this time here, our forecast still stands. As you can see, northwest Arkansas, primarily snow. The freezing line is down here in southern Arkansas, as you can see. But the freezing rain, sleet mix across much of Arkansas. Freezing rain over here in eastern, and in southern Arkansas, the battle zone between rain, freezing rain, and maybe some sleet with that as well. And then you can see what happens here is by the time we get towards this is right around 10 o'clock in the morning, there's another wave that comes through, another round of precipitation across the board, good amount of snow in this area, by the way, in northwestern, north central, and western Arkansas here. So you guys will start transitioning over by the time we get towards closer to lunch, because the colder air is going to be building in. This is going to be one of those situations that the cold air is going to be building in during the day instead of after the event. It's going to be building in while the event is going on. So that's why everybody's going to transition over to some light snow at the very end of this, okay, at the very, very end. But do not expect this to be a primary snow event here in central Arkansas. It's going to be freezing rain and sleet, mainly an ice event here in central, eastern, and northeastern Arkansas and southern Arkansas as well. Northwest Arkansas is primarily going to be a snow event, this entire situation here. So I've flapped my guns for low enough, guys. I'm going to go ahead and tackle some questions while I'm here. And also, while I'm here, I'm going to bring my face back. I just realized my camera was off the entire time. So I'm bringing my face back. That's me, by the way. Okay, mind the hair. It's been a long day. But you can see what I'm talking about here across the air. So if you guys got any questions, please let me know. I'm gonna try to get to them as quickly as I can here. So I would drop the 32 degree, drop the temperatures 2 degrees below the HRR, which is a great call because for the HRR, I think it's a little bit too warm. But we'll have to wait and see on all that here. But that's a good point. Gas, generator, portable heater, extension cords, flashlights, portable chargers, fresh water, food. Be prepared for a couple of days of power outages out of this, okay? If we are lucky enough, we may be able to get that colder air aloft. And I'm going to show you guys this real fast. And this is why we're saying that this is going to be primarily freezing rain, sleet across the area. So I'm going to go over here to the 850 real quick. 850 tells the story, okay? So as you can see, this is tomorrow afternoon, okay? I'm going to resize this, by the way, so you guys can see what I'm talking about. So bear with me for just a bit. I'm going to resize it. Okay, now that's better. That's much better. So here's what I mean, okay? So this is 850 millibar temperatures, all right? If you are at 0 or below, then you're supportive enough for at least sleet or snow, okay? If you are warmer than 0 degrees, then you had a chance to see sleet or freezing rain. You won't see snow out of this. But you can see throughout much of the event, I'm going to back this up and show you guys what I'm talking about. Throughout much of the event, you are above freezing aloft. That's why you have so much problems with freezing rain and sleet, because this is the warm nose we're talking about. This is the warm nose aloft that you're talking about. You're looking at these colors, you're like, man, that is cold. 5 degrees should not be above freezing. This is in Celsius. So 0 degrees Celsius is 32 degrees Fahrenheit. So you're talking 5 degrees Celsius, you're talking in the 40s, and then going from there. So basically, we are well below freezing at the surface, and you're 40 to 50 degrees above our heads. Okay, so the rain is falling, it's hitting that sub-freezing air, and it's freezing on contact. So that's freezing rain. All right, now this is sleet. Now this is the one we have to watch for the potential of seeing sleet out of this. Now notice something. Your 925 millibar temperatures are well below freezing. Okay, and even in some cases up here in northwestern Arkansas, you're way, way below freezing. You're talking to the negatives up here. Fahrenheit, by the way. Okay, so this is why you're having sleet issues. This is why we're buying more sleet versus the snow, versus the freezing rain out of this. Because look at here, 925, you're at -3, -4. So the rain's falling at 850. It hits below freezing at 925, freezes in the little ice crystals, the little ice balls, and then it falls down to the surface as sleet. So do not be shocked if this ends up being a majority sleet event, but I cannot rule out some a good amount of freezing rain with this here. So that's the number one thing that we're going to watch. But before we get here, you got to deal with the warm temperatures here. So that's why we're saying that temperatures aloft are going to be really, really, really warm. That's why we're going to have the freezing rain issue. So you're going to have freezing rain and sleet mitts across much of the area. And then as the colder air builds in, as you can see, by the time you get towards 3 o'clock in the afternoon, everybody's significantly below freezing. Okay, so that's that colder air building in aloft. That's what's bringing in the snow behind us. That's why I don't buy the sleet or freezing rain by the time you get towards Thursday afternoon, Thursday evening. Everybody should at least be a primary snow event out of this. But let's take a look at something else, and let's go to 850. Okay, and you can see 850 as well. Okay, so you still have that slight warm nose here, but it will support a sleet snow mix versus freezing rain by this point. So that's the number one issue that I want to kind of address. Everyone's been kind of wondering how we're getting freezing rain and it's going to be 27, 28 degrees. It's because 27, 28 at the surface, 40 to 50 degrees above our heads. So the snow's melting the rain, and then when it falls, it's falling in that sub-freezing air and it's freezing on contact. Freezing rain is the number one thing you do not want out of this entire event. I tell people this all the time. I take a cold rain any day over a freezing rain event here. So do you think Friday and Saturday travel-wise would be possible? Friday is going to be a guaranteed no, and I'm going to show you why. Okay, so let's go to the NAM real quick. Okay, I'm going to show you guys temperatures on Friday here. So let me go back to TM. Let's go back to Fahrenheit here. Okay, and the 18Z is now running. And by the way, on tomorrow, teens and 20s across the natural state. It's going to be very cold here in Arkansas. But here's my problem, okay? You get towards Friday. Look at here. You're in the 20s to near freezing, okay? So basically there's going to be some melting on Friday, but then look what happens by the time you get towards Friday night. You're back down into the teens and 20s. Even in some cases, Northwest Arkansas, you're down in the single digits. So that's why we're saying for Friday and even a Saturday, travel is going to be extremely difficult. I highly do not recommend it, okay? I would wait to at least, and you can see on Saturday, we're back into the 30s and low 40s. So by then, we should be getting a good amount of melting in. We should be good to go by Saturday at the earliest. But just keep that in mind. Be prepared to not go anywhere for about a day or two because of the roads being in bad shape at this point, okay? If the video is going in and out, you may have to step out of the live stream and come back in. How do you prepare for this? If you're all electric and no generator, main thing you want to stress, get jug of waters, canned food, non-perishable foods. Number one thing that we want to stress is if you're all electric and you don't have power, be prepared for that, okay? I know a lot of people don't have generators, but that's the number one thing we want to stress. Also bring extra blankets and stay warm, okay? Limit the time you go outside. If you have kids, you got to stress them. Limit the time you go outside if you're out of power, because every time you go in and out, it's going to bring that warm air out, and your house is going to get colder and colder and colder and colder. So you want to stay inside as much as physically possible during this entire duration of power outage. Okay, you don't want to go back and forth out because it's going to bring that colder in and it's going to drop your house temperature, and you know you can't recover it because you're out of power. So that's the number one thing. If you don't have a generator, that's the best way to prepare for it. Have extra blankets. I would highly suggest, I know a lot of people that have cars, they have power inverters. Those are the number one things that you could potentially use, but don't overstress it because it can lead to bad problems with your car. So that's the one thing I want to stress. And also one more thing, battery packs. Battery packs are going to be your best friend as well. If you're all electric and you lose power, you have your battery packs. That'll save you for a couple of hours. That way you can keep your phone on, keep your phone fully charged. Alright, so let me see here. I'm going to go here. So how's Fort Smith looking? Mainly snow up there in northwestern Arkansas with this event. Okay, how's travel looking for Friday, folks? I said before, do not travel on Friday. I know a lot of people have plans on Friday, etc. This is going to be one of those Fridays that you're going to have to sit out. The roads are not going to be in good shape on Friday. It's going to be very, 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 very hazardous to travel on Friday. National Service is urging people to stay home with this. You got to. The travel is heavily discouraged with this event, because you're not dealing with just snow. It's freezing rain and sleet, so you're adding significant black ice on the road, which you can't see, and you're adding sleet to the roads as well. So that's the one thing they're stressing right now. Travel is extremely discouraged in these areas. Okay, let's talk about mounts here. I know everyone's kind of here for about a mount, so I'm gonna go to the NAM real quickly and use this. And Kevin, I saw the other run. I do buy it at this point. Okay, but you can see what the NAM does. Okay, so let's talk about NAM here real fast. And this would be the best case scenario for Central Arkansas, obviously. Little to no freezing rain here because it's all sleet, and has the majority of the freezing rain down here in southern Arkansas. That is still a wait and see because of the fact that the NAM is much colder aloft than the other models. So you don't have the freezing rain here, but you have almost 5 inches of sleet. So it really it stresses about the sleet versus the freezing rain. So this is something that you're going to have to watch real-time data for, because the NAM is super cold aloft, so you're dealing with sleet versus freezing rain. But that would be the best case scenario here in Central Arkansas. And then look what happens on the back side of this. Northwest Arkansas gets a lot of snow. There could be maybe a dusting down into Central Arkansas here, but the majority of the snow is going to stay in northwestern Arkansas. Now, my problem is this. And let's talk about the HRR for just a bit, okay? And my problem is this with the HRR. The HRR is a lot warmer aloft than the NAM. So what the HRR is wanting to do with the freezing rain, let's talk about that real quickly, okay? There's the HRR. So you increase your freezing rain potential through here, all right? And then there's sleet, okay? So a good amount of 1 to 2 inches of sleet being possible on top of almost a half an inch of ice. It's basically your roads are done. You're not going to travel in that. It's going to be virtually impossible to travel with this going on here. But let's talk about the snow here, okay? So let's talk about the HR with snow. And you can see what it does, okay? Really sets up the snow across western Arkansas. And it brings about a dusting to an inch of snow here in near Pulaski County. And in northern Arkansas, snow up here. And then southwest Arkansas sees at the very end of this event. So it doesn't have a lot of snow for much of central, southwest, and northeast Arkansas until later into the evening and into the overnight here. And you can see what it does here. You can even add the overnight event here, and it's just spotting. You know, a couple of a dusting here, a dusting there. We'll have to watch and see as we get towards tomorrow night here. But the main story is going to be the freezing rain with this here. Another thing I want to talk about, another thing we haven't really said much about here, is the wind. Okay, and I'm going to talk about the wind gust here. So this is a problem, okay? This is another issue you have. You have 30 to 40 mile per hour wind gusts with freezing rain and sleet ongoing. That could potentially really bring the power outages here in the central and in the eastern Arkansas. That's the number one issue that we're dealing with right now here. And those that were wondering about the wind chill potential with this, okay? These are wind chills. If you go with the HRR, negatives across northwestern Arkansas. So dangerous wind chills, wind gusts 35 to 40 miles per hour, freezing rain, sleet, and snow with this entire event. A full-blown Arkansas significant winter storm. That's basically how to put this entire thing. It's an Arkansas significant winter storm at this point. So what about Truman up there in northeastern Arkansas? Something we're going to watch up there for sleet and freezing rain. Folks, and also one more thing I want to stress is if you can't find the information on here, be sure to rewind the live stream. Kind of go back in the live stream. I went over all the maps at the beginning. I may go over it before it ends, but that's one other thing I want to stress here. So I'm going to go over timing one more time, okay, because I know everybody's kind of wondering about timing with this. And we have Futurecast on our YouTube, by the way. So if you're subscribed on our YouTube page, go check that out. We have our Futurecast up on our YouTube here, and it's going to tell you about the timing. But you can see what I'm talking about here. So we're talking now with the HRR. This is right around 4 o'clock, so next 2 hours. And then northwest Arkansas, you're going to start seeing this around 7, 8 o'clock. So we have 7, 8 o'clock across western Arkansas right now. Southwest, you're going to start as a little bit of cold rain, and then you're going to gradually transition over to some freezing rain down there in southwest Arkansas here. But the majority of the state will not see this until after midnight tonight. Okay, northwest Arkansas, you're going to start this evening, but the majority of Arkansas will not see this until the overnight hours. Okay, so with that being said, that means that there's no sun angle. There's no daytime heating. Okay, I am very concerned that models may be underdoing amounts because of the fact that it's taking away the sun angle, it's taking away the daytime heating. So that's something we're gonna watch. I really hope, I really hope that this ends up being sleet versus freezing rain. I would rather bust on a freezing rain map anytime, any day, any place. Okay, I really hope this ends up being sleet. You do not want freezing rain out of this situation. It's going to be a very bad situation if people see freezing rain out of this, okay? So if you lose power, have kids build a fort. That's a great idea, summer. Get ready to breathe. Everyone's hot breath, stay warm. And P.S. everybody brush your teeth. That's a funny comment. That's funny. Okay, so total snow accumulations in Solomon Springs. I would probably go... Right now, we have you guys 6 to 10 inches of snow up there in northwestern Arkansas. You guys are going to be the big winners out of this. You're going to be the big winners out of this in terms of the snowfall up there in northwestern Arkansas. You're missing the bullet. And the reason why you're missing the bullet is because the low is further south. Had this low gone 50 to 100 miles north, you've been blasted with ice. So enjoy it up there in northwest Arkansas. I know you guys have had a little bit of sleet and freezing rain on the onset, but you should transition over to all snow by the time we get towards tonight. We are fully looking forward to seeing y'all's photos and videos up there in northwestern Arkansas here, while we're in the rest of the National State dealing with a crippling ice storm at this point here. So bump your heat up a little bit if you can, so your house is good and warm if it goes out. That's a great idea, Donna. Great idea. I would do that right now, actually. So here in the Weather Center, we're kind of preparing for that as well. Temperature in here right now is 83 degrees in here. It's 83. So right now we're kind of prepping the Weather Center just to be on the safe side in case we lose power ourselves. We have a backup. We're good to go, but we're kind of getting everything ready to go for that potential. So kind of keep that in mind. If you need to turn the heat on today and kind of get it nice and warm, that way it's good to go, go ahead and do that. It's going to be a little toasty in there for a while, but at least the house is significantly warmer, okay? So Camden, same thing down there. All right. Let me see here. Pike County, Greenwood, that's Southwest Arkansas. It's 7-4. Everybody that's asking about counties and cities, etc., all our information is on the page. If you can't find it on this live stream, it's going to be on the page. So be sure to look out for that on the page as well, guys. All right. So accumulations. Let's go back to that real quickly. Let me go back to that real fast. Okay. Give me 1 second. Let me go back to you because I know everyone's asking about accumulations here. So bear with me for just a bit. Now, what's going to happen is my face is going to go off for just a second. Okay. Give me 1 second. Okay. And I'm going to zoom this out so you guys can see what I'm talking about. All right. So this is our map. This is our freezing rain map, and I want everybody to see this. Okay. It's big. It's about as broad as it can get. Okay. As you can see, in the left side of the map, cities. Right side of the map is counties. Okay. Glaze to maybe 1/10 of an inch of ice up there in northwestern Arkansas, but that's primarily it. Okay. Central and eastern Arkansas is going to be the areas that's going to take the show for freezing rain with this event. Okay. Keep that in mind. All right. This is where the primary freezing rain is going to be across eastern Arkansas. We're talking, some folks may see a 1/2 inch over to 1 inch of ice with this. And I'm praying that these totals are overdone. I'm praying that we get majority sleet versus freezing rain. Because if we start getting these amounts with 30 to 40 mile per hour wind gusts, that's what's going to start bringing the power outages down. That's what's going to start becoming really troublesome across Arkansas. So you want this to be sleet. You want this to be a sleet storm. If I'm going to take a bus, I'd rather take a bus with a freezing rain amount. I'd rather do it with this because nobody wants freezing rain out of this. Nobody. And this is something that you do not want at this point, okay? Now, let's go back over to our precipitation map here. And as I said before, if you need this information, folks, take a look at our page. Everything you need to know is going to be on the page here. Richard, I do not have a map for wind yet. It's going to come straight after this live stream. I realized it as I went live. I said I forgot something, and I realized it was the wind. So that will be extremely after this live stream. But the majority is going to be 30 to 40 mile per hour winds, okay? But like I said before, you do not want freezing rain out of this. Like I said before, if I'm going to have a bust, if I'm going to deal with a forecast bust, I take it with freezing rain any day. I have no shame with that at all, because freezing rain causes a significant amount of problems. You're talking power outages, significant road issues. It is just something that you do not want at all. You do not want freezing rain at all. I'd take sleet and snow any day, or a cold rain. I'd take a cold rain any day too, over freezing rain with this. But unfortunately, that is going to be the situation here. And I saw the Euro. I'm going to go back to it. Thank you for talking to me about the Euro. You don't want to see it. I'm going to tell you that right now. You do not want to see the Euro. It woke up with violence. I'll put it that much. Let me see here. So, where's this page he's speaking of, folks? It's in the live stream. It's in the live stream. So Arkansas Weather Watchers. Just click on the page. Go like us. Give us a follow. Everything's going to be there on the page here. So, let me see here. Going over everything. Okay. Let me see before. Okay. Alright, so, okay, and this is for folks, just keep in mind, we have a moderator on the page, just in case, okay? No need for the negative comments, guys. It's a very serious situation. No need for that, guys, okay? Alright, so, mostly snow up there in Harrison. Yes, yes, it's going to be mainly snow and some sleet up there in northwestern up there and towards Harrison. That's going to be it. That's going to be the area of seeing the majority of the snow out of this. And even then, I could probably, with an update, I could probably completely get rid of the freezing rain and sleet the snow up there and just go primarily on snow up there in northwestern Arkansas. But I think on onset, you will see some freezing rain and sleet as the deeper colder air is coming in. But up there in northwestern Arkansas, you should be primarily in snow events. So that's like Harrison, Eureka Springs, up towards Huntsville, Bentonville, and over towards Fayetteville at this point here. So also on YouTube as well, take a look at us on YouTube. We have our Futurecast up on our YouTube page as well. So be sure to check that out. All right, so school cancellations, all that's going to be posted on the page in here in a little while. Batesville's on the map. Euro. I'm going to take a look at the Euro here in just a bit. Next to four folks, I know we have a lot of new followers here. Be sure to take a look at our page. I know our live stream is getting a lot of attention that we don't have on the page currently. Be sure to give us a follow. Alright, so the information I'm talking about is officially on our page that you're seeing with the live stream here. I didn't realize that was the issue here, that I didn't realize people outside of our general view base were seeing this. So just kind of keep that in mind. If you've never heard of us before, go check us out on Facebook. You'll see what I'm talking about here. So is the confidence high with the location? My town is pretty well riding the line. Just want to make sure of any thought of a shift. Honestly, at this point, I think you're good. I think this map is good. I think the only change I'd probably make, like I said earlier, is probably up there in northwest Arkansas, and even then, it's still debatable here. So this is probably a really good map. It's going to stand as it is. That's why it has no change from yesterday. Our thought hasn't changed any with this here. So that black line basically means that significant sleet and freezing rain will be likely in those areas here. Okay, so keep that in mind at this point, guys. It's a lot of issues that we could potentially be dealing with across this area here, especially in that black area that goes from eastern Arkansas to central and into southwestern Arkansas at this time here, folks. So let me see here. Let's look at the Euro. The Euro's worst case scenario out of this entire situation here. So this is the Euro. We back this up. Let's go here. Okay, we'll take this off the screen. Okay, faces back, by the way. This is the Euro. Okay, so this is what the Euro wants to do, by the way. Take a look for just a second. Okay, that's the Euro. 2 inches of freezing rain over here. It's not pretty. The Euro is not pretty at all. Okay, this is the Euro. Okay, so I'm praying that the Euro is too warm aloft. I'm praying it's too warm aloft. But this is what it has across the area. You're talking a half an inch to an inch, upwards to 2 inches of ice over here in eastern Arkansas. This is strictly freezing rain. This is not sleet at all. This is strictly freezing rain. Okay, the Euro is not pretty. It's not pretty. For some odd reason, the Euro does not like us here in Arkansas. Okay, this is sleet on top of 2 inches of ice over here. Not that much of sleet. Probably a dusting, maybe as high as a quarter of an inch of sleet out of this. Okay, and then there's snow. In the snow, so you can see about a half an inch of snow. So let's get this right: half an inch of snow, half an inch of sleet, 2 inches of ice. Not pretty. That's a catastrophic situation waiting to happen here in Arkansas if that were to be the case. And I'm really worried that the Euro is too warm aloft. And I'm praying that it's too warm aloft, because you do not want to see that at all. You do not want to see that at this point, okay? So let's take a look at something real quickly, guys. And that's it before, folks. I'm seeing that in the comments. Please, 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 please be nice, guys. Please be nice. It's something that you don't want to bring negativity to something this major. Okay. I'm looking at the 18Z here just a bit. OCL up there in Northeast Arkansas. I'll have to watch it. Donna, I hope it is. I really pray that it's overdone. I hope to God it's overdone. Because if it is, that's great. But if it isn't, then it's going to be catastrophic ice over there in eastern Arkansas. I'm really hoping it's overdone. I'm really hoping it's overdone at this point. Okay, so looking at temperatures here. Okay, let's back this up a little bit. All right, so we're going back to where we are now. All right, so we're now at 39 degrees here in Little Rock. So we're about right here now. Okay, keep in mind, this is the Euro, by the way. Okay, Euro has us at 39 degrees at 6 p.m. It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. We're at 39 already. So I personally think that the Euro is too warm. I think it's too warm. I think it's overdoing the warm air aloft. I really think it's overdoing the warm air aloft, because right now we're at 39 already. And let's back this up real quick, okay? This is what the Euro has for us right now in Little Rock. We're at 50 per Euro. 39 here already. So temperatures are about a good 10 to 15 degrees colder than what the Euro is already suggesting. So I'm really hoping that the models are overdoing this warm air. I really don't want Euro to verify, because if that happens, we're going to be dealing with a catastrophic situation here in Central Arkansas here. So those that ask me, I know there's one comment about Izard County. Looks like it's split on your map. It's not split. It's just a line. That black line is separating you from a regular winter storm versus a significant winter storm out of this. Okay, so that's no one thing that I want to stress at this point. Okay, let me see here. Come on, let me see here. Okay, all right, going through everything right now. Let me see here. Okay, if you guys got any more questions, please let me know. Let's see. Okay, all right. So strong Arkansas down there in southern Arkansas right now. Freezing rain and rain down there. I think it's going to be freezing rain and rain at this point. I think there could be some issues down there. We'll have to wait and see. Okay. All right. So there it is. By the time we get towards first thing in the morning, you can see what it does. So it's HR, by the way. Okay. Down there in southern Arkansas, you're talking right around 32, 33, 34 degrees. That can make a big difference between seeing significant ice and seeing a cold rain. So I think you're still in the battle zone down here in southern Arkansas, but we're pretty confident that some places will at least see a glaze of ice down there. That's why you're under the winter weather advisory down there in southern Arkansas at this point here. So I'm concerned about South Arkansas turning colder, being under a forecast. I agree. I'm worried about that too. Okay, let's take a look at the HR and let's take a look at current temperatures here. Okay, so right now, with it being right at, I'd say, let's put this about 3 p.m. Okay, so 3 p.m. 41, and it's 39 already. Let's go to the what's called the RTMA, which is the real-time temperatures. Okay, so those are real-time temperatures here. So we're at 39 already here in the weather center. It's about 41, so it's doing relatively okay with the temperatures here. So these are current temps, by the way. All right, so 20s already. You're in the 20s already in northwestern Arkansas. Like, that's a given. All right. 30s here, 40s across central Arkansas already, and in southern Arkansas, you are in a spring mode right now. You're in the 60s down there in South Arkansas. Enjoy that air while it's here. I want to stress that. Enjoy that air. If you can get outside today in South Arkansas, I do it. enjoy that warm air while it's here, because you got a lot of cold air coming your way over the next 6 to 8 hours here. So enjoy that warm air down there. Okay. Honest impact of Hero Springs, same thing. Freezing rain and sleet. All right. Let me see here. Going over everything here. So, let's see here. Doing a great job. Thanks, Arkansas Weather Watch, for putting up with all this crazy fellas. It's fine. I tell people all the time here, whenever we're doing this, you're working in the public. You know, you're gonna have people that are gonna love you. You're gonna have people that are gonna hate you. If they hate you, that's fine. One thing in this business, if you don't have haters, you're not doing something right. Okay, so keep that in mind. Summer, I like that comment here. So you can always buy snow tires, but you can't get tires for ice. It's ice. Honestly, I wish they would do something like that in the future. Like you have a tire mint for freezing rain or something. But even traveling at 15 miles per hour, that's a good point. Even traveling at 15 miles per hour, if you hit one thing wrong, it could cost you your life. That's why we are saying that travel is heavily discouraged. It's not only just us here. It's the National Weather Service. It's everybody saying that travel is discouraged tonight. Okay? What you're looking at on the map right now, Butterfly, if you're just now tuning in, this is current temperatures. These are current temperatures. They're not a model, by the way. This is current temperatures. So you've got 60s down here in southern Arkansas already, 20s in northwestern Arkansas, about a 40 upwards to a 50-degree difference already. And look at the temperature change already. Let's take a look at the temperature change. Okay? You are running about 40 degrees colder up here in northwestern Arkansas than you were yesterday. Okay? So you're in the 20s now, you were in the 60s yesterday. Okay, so about a 40-degree drop up here in northwestern Arkansas from where you were yesterday. The rest of the natural state, you are in the 20s, 30s. And another thing that I'm concerned about, remember a couple of days ago we were looking at computer model guidance and it had 70s down there in South Arkansas. Look what happened today down here in South Arkansas. It busted. You only got in the 60s. So your temperatures here, the reason why your temperatures are colder is because temperatures are not as high as we were originally anticipating it for it to be. Okay, so that's why we're saying the cold air here is getting here a lot quicker than was originally anticipated, which we called, by the way. We said that that may be the case. All right, let's talk about feels like temperatures right now. Teens up here in northwestern Arkansas. You got wind chills in the teens already in northwestern Arkansas. 20s to 30s here. It's dropping really quickly, by the way. Okay, and notice your trend. All right, so we can back this up all the way, and this is from last night. Okay, all right, so I'm gonna take this out. Not last night, excuse me. I'm back this out. It went all the way back to the last day or so. So this is one thing I like about it. You can go all the way back here, but you can see the temperature trend. Okay, so this was yesterday. Okay, look at yesterday. You were in the 50s, 60s, low 70s. You were in spring. Really good, right? Okay, fundamentals, you came in right around 11 o'clock last night, and notice your temperature drop. Okay, you went from the 50s up here to the teens, just like that. Okay, and notice how your temperature dropped here. You look in the metro, you went from 59 degrees down to 37 already. Okay, so these are the new temperatures that are coming in. Okay, all right, so you're dropping really quickly across the year. Okay, so these are wind chills, by the way. These are not surface temperatures, but you can see what I'm talking about here. So wind chills already in the teens up here, temperatures in the 30s here. So let's go back to the temperature map real quick, and you can see what I'm talking about here. So we're gonna back this up and show you guys what we're talking about here. So you're starting in the 50s, and the temperature, the front just crashed through central Arkansas. So this is the current temperatures at this point across the area here. So this is what happens when northeast Arkansas orders snow off of Wish. That is funny. That is some funny stuff, folks. Pat, great point. If you can, try not to go anywhere, because if you wreck, we as first responders have to get to you, and we won't be able to get to you as quickly as you normally would. And in that situation, you're talking loss of life. Folks, don't travel. Don't travel. I know everybody's got plans. It's a Thursday. It's a Friday. I know it's late in the week. It's the busiest time of the week. The worst time possible to get a winter storm. But please, sit this one out. Okay? Just sit it out. If you have plans, postpone them. Okay? I think we'll be back to relatively good shape by Sunday. But if you have plans, postpone them. Okay, I do not recommend travel this evening, or well, excuse me, overnight tonight and into tomorrow and into tomorrow night and into Friday. Okay, on Friday there's gonna be a lot of people that are gonna be trying to get out. Okay, temperatures on Friday are gonna struggle to get above freezing. That means your roads are gonna be catastrophic. Your roads are gonna be done. Okay, this is a completely different beast versus dealing with snow. Snow, it's a maybe a day or two and then you're good to go. Okay, freezing rain and sleet, especially to this magnitude, takes a while to melt. Okay, freezing rain and sleet takes a significant while to melt down. Okay, it's not like snow where it melts down pretty quick. Sleet and freezing rain, we saw this last year with the winter storm last year. You know, you had all that snow on top, and if you dug down pretty deep, you had a sheet of ice. That's basically what we're looking at. Okay, so that sheet of ice is going to stay there for days and days and days on end. And on top of that, you melt, you refreeze. You melt, you refreeze. You melt, you refreeze. You need temperatures in the 40s and 50s to get you out to getting back to normal, and that's not going to happen until probably Sunday. So be prepared to sit this one out for about 2 or 3 days, guys. It's going to be that situation here. And also, I saw that one comment that was pinned. Jobs are replaceable, guys. If they are willing to put you in a life-threatening situation, you don't need to be there. Okay, no job should have you out in this type of weather. It just shouldn't happen. But anyways, okay. So wind chill factor tonight, yes, single digits, 0, maybe some negatives up there in northern Arkansas. Okay, wind chills are going to be really cold up there in northern Arkansas tonight. So we're going to back this up to the HRR. We're going to go back over timing for just a bit. Let's go to 19Z. 19Z, the newest run just comes out. And I'm going to stay in here for probably till 3 o'clock, answer some questions. And then I'm going to hop off of here. And then we're going to go into winter storm mode tonight with the second round coming in. If it gets significant enough, we'll probably have a live stream for the majority of the event. Okay? So just kind of keep that in mind. We'll watch it closely. Radar updates are going to be coming out every 30 minutes. Alright? However, if the situation is pretty bad, we may have like a 2 or 3 or 4 hour live stream kind of going over radar. So just kind of keep that in mind. I'll let you guys know on all that here. So let me see here. Okay, please also, Cheryl, great point. Please bring your animals inside. This is something that you do not want your animals to be out in. Okay, you don't want your animals out in this. Okay. Be thankful for law enforcement who are willing to put the. Yep, I agree on that as well. Okay. Are there any reports of our neighboring states of bad sleet and ice? Honestly, right now, I haven't even looked, but we can take a look at that. Let's take a look at Texas for a bit. Okay. Is it going to switch over to drivetexas.org? By the way, if you're looking for, you're not going to get my location, but okay. Okay. That's okay. We'll just do that. All right. So. Let's see. Alright, so this is what they've got at this point. I'm going to go ahead and... This is a new one to me, by the way. Alright, so first of all, let's turn off closures. There's all that... There's the free... By the way, there's the road issues over here already, just by looking at this. It's not like RDOT... excuse me, not RDOT. iDrive's website, where it has the different roads kind of colored in. This was a completely different website. But you can see what's going on over here already. You've got the freezing rain, sleet all going already. You got reports out here as well. So, yeah, there's a lot of shutdowns going on right now. Okay, there's even some, I think there's even some power outages over here already. Over here in Texas. So just kind of keep that in mind, folks. I haven't even looked at the power outages yet. Let's take a look at that real quick. If it's going to let me, because it's going to show Arkansas. But I want to see about Texas. I want to see what Texas is looking like right now, because that's where the second wave is at this point. And Texas right now doing relatively great. You got about 2,000 volts out of power. I want to see where it is. I want to see where it's going to be set up at. So at this point in the live stream, by the way, if you're just now tuning in, I'm kind of going over everything. Right now, no significant outages over here in Texas, which is great. But we're still early in this event here. So you've got a lot of traffic issues. And that's where that heaviest precipitation was over there in Texas from earlier here. So right now the roads here in Arkansas, great shape. Take advantage of it while it's here. Please take advantage of the clear roadways while it's here. Okay. Anyone else spending the day running kids out of ice snacks? Oh man, I'm wondering why my kid's school hasn't called in yet. I don't know. I think they're probably trying to wait and see how the roads are gonna be. Honestly, if y'all situation, because I know every parent has their own judgment about it. My own judgment would be I'm expecting ice tomorrow. Even if the roads are good in the morning, the roads are going to be chaotic in the afternoon. So I'd keep my kid at home if it was me. Like I said, every parent has their different judgment, so kind of fine tune with that. But in my honest opinion, I'd keep them at home tomorrow. I wouldn't even attempt it tomorrow, because that's putting not only your life but their life in jeopardy as well. Because all it takes, like Summer said, you're going 15 miles per hour, you hit a black ice patch, and you're either in a ditch, you hit someone, or you're hydroplaning and you flip off the road. So keep that in mind, okay? I'd rather have all the roads, not everybody on the roads or anything, by the time we get towards tomorrow or tonight into tomorrow, okay? Lake Hamilton's already closed for tomorrow. Vernonia's already closed for tomorrow as well. Lamar, Arkansas is school out. For Batesville, school's already closed here, so definitely a lot of school closures already taking place across the area. We're going to go back to radar for just a bit. So I'm going to see if I can get this going at this time here, guys. So bear with me for just a bit. I'm going to see about getting radar kind of up and going again. So let me see if it's going to let me do it. Okay, let me go back here. So let's say just basically right there. Let's switch this over to radar here, because radar is going to tell the big story about what's going on right now here. So we're going to clear this off. Okay, we're going to go back over to our radar. Okay, and let's go back to temperatures here. So let's take a look at the 32-degree line. Okay, it's made some significant progress, by the way. All right, there's another wave trying to come out right now, coming out of Oklahoma. But this 32-degree line has made some good progress across the area. It's already trying to make its way towards eastern Arkansas already. There's below freezing temperatures already in northwestern Arkansas at this point. Let's take a look at this, make sure this is up to date. Alright, so there's some light rain coming in at this point, some light snow, freezing rain over here in eastern Oklahoma that is moving towards Arkansas at this time. And then so for that Sunday, we're going to be watching over the next couple of hours here. So the precipitation is really going to start getting going across eastern Arkansas here. So got to get back in, check in later. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much. Let me see here. Could the area of purple shift north? I'm right on the edge of heavy freezing rain right now. Allison, wait and see. My problem is this. Okay, so let's take a look at something real quick while we have the chance. So there's radar right now. I'm gonna have temperatures up real fast. So those are current temperatures at this point. Okay, so the freezing line is, you can see what it's doing, and this is what I was talking to you guys about yesterday, that the colder air was hitting the mountains. Okay, and it can't go through the mountains, so what it's doing, it's sneaking around the mountains and going just like this. Okay, so the 32-degree lines you're seeing on the screen here is going straight through here. It's coming through straight through eastern Arkansas. It's finding its way. It's weird how weather works, but it's finding its way around the mountains and kind of sneaking in behind the mountains and coming into Arkansas here. So it's very, very weird how Arkansas weather works, but it works. All right, so let's go here. Okay, let's take off the radar for just a bit. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take off temperatures for a second, and I'm going to talk to you guys about the aloft temperatures. This is the reason why we're having a lot of problems with freezing rain and sleet later on, okay? So this should be popping up here shortly, okay? And there it is, okay? So basically what this is, what you're looking at right now, is the freezing line aloft, not the surface. Aloft, that's above our heads, okay? So you're looking at this right now, and you can see, very detailed line, by the way, okay, of where the 32-degree line is, okay? It's across far northwestern Arkansas at this point. All right, so until this gets into Arkansas, it's going to be a freezing rain and sleet event, except for northwestern Arkansas here. But you can see what it's doing. It's beginning to make its way. Let me see if I can turn that off for just a bit, okay? But you can see what it's doing. Let's go to northwest Arkansas, okay? There's that line right in here, okay? And I'm going to try to do this as well, okay? So you're looking at two completely different lines here, all right? There's your freezing line your surface that's coming through, and there's your aloft freezing line coming through. Okay, so until this line makes it into Arkansas, it's going to be freezing rain and sleet. This is the shallow cold air. So basically, let's take this for example. All right, everybody was asking about what this difference between shallow cold air and deep cold air. This is basically it. This is basically what you're seeing on the map. Your shallow cold air at the surface coming in quicker. Your aloft, your deeper cold air lagging behind. This is basically what you're seeing on the map. That's why it's so layered like this at this point. Okay, 850 back here, surface right here, and you can see the surface. The 32-degree line is crashing. It is crashing through here right now, and it's making its way into northeast Arkansas. As a matter of fact, you just dropped the 32 degrees up here near Piggott already. All right, so it is slowly but surely making its way into Arkansas. I think it will be here by the time we get towards this evening into the night. When will the freezing temperatures arrive in Little Rock? It will be right around midnight tonight. Okay. What I will do, Randy, if everybody else would like to see this, I will have a Futurecast. If I can get my software to add correctly, I'm going to have a Futurecast of the 32-degree line and the precipitation overrunning it. If that's something y'all want to see on the page here in a bit. So let me know in the comments if y'all want to see that. Except for this took a lot of hard work, by the way. A lot of hard work to get it just like this. But basically you see it overlaid. Basically overlaid. The 32-degree line at surface and your aloft cold air coming in at the same time here. So it's basically overlaid at this point. Anything beyond that line, you're above freezing. Okay? So basically right now, let's take for example, let's do a little example map real quick. Okay? Let's say we had precipitation up here in northern Arkansas. Okay? Surface below freezing, aloft above. This is freezing rain and sleet right now with this. Let's say you're in Little Rock. You're at 43 degrees. You're not cold enough at the surface. You're not cold enough aloft. So that would mean you're supportive of rain right now down there in central Arkansas. Okay? That will change by the time we get towards this evening and into the night here. Okay? So if y'all like to see, that's great. Okay? Alright, so I'll get it done. I'll get it done and post it on there. So remember to also keep your mail boxes clear for mail people, because we will still try to deliver. Okay. Trisha, please be very careful. Please be very, very careful. I know mail delivery, you know, you have to get out and walk and stuff like that. Be careful on the sidewalks, on the elevated surfaces. Please be very, very careful. I'm really shocked y'all are still out there delivering mail. I'm really shocked with a pretty decent winter storm coming our way. I'm really surprised that you guys are still delivering packages out here. So let's kind of keep that in mind. Okay. At this point, let's see if I can make this a full screen. Okay. Alright, so this is now full screen here. This hopefully should help out with everything. Okay, so let me see here. No power, you can make sandwiches with bread. Kids like the milk. If you lose power, it stays cold outside for many adults in the liquor stores. Oh man, I know. They doubled up our mail yesterday. That's great. That's why I was kind of hoping would happen. Like they would bring in something that was originally supposed to be delivered at this time, bring it in quicker, because this is something that you don't want to have to deal with. You don't want to be outside when freezing rain and sleet's ongoing, because your sidewalks are going to be screwed, your elevated surfaces are going to be screwed, your roads are going to be screwed, etc. here. So let me see here. Does the UPS ever not run? I don't okay, anybody that works for USPS, did y'all work last year during the significant winter storm? I'm praying that's a no, but I'm really wondering if y'all ran last year during that significant snowstorm. Basically what you're looking at right now, by the way, this is current model guidance here. And I'm going to see if I can take a look at something real quickly here, guys. So bear with me for a bit. I'm going to swing this over, and I'm going to try to put this at full screen. And I'm going to try to scoot this over so you guys can see this here. Technology has not been my best friend today, by the way. Very frustrating. I don't know why. It's everything for technology-wise, everything is great until the day of. And that's when you start having issues. So, let me see here. let's do something just like this, okay? So I'm going to zoom this out, okay? And we're going to try to have it that way you guys can see it. Let me know if that's better for you guys, okay? And I do apologize for that little issue, but let's tell me if that's better for you guys, okay? So I just fixed that, and you can see what's going on here. So this is basically what's it at this moment. See about putting up radar at this time here. So there's radar, okay? Okay, let me see about getting radar up, okay? And then that's it, okay? So that's what's going on at this point. You see what's going on, okay? And also another thing we're gonna have to watch is look at the precipitation starting to build in, okay? I may have to go in and adjust that timing map just a bit, but look at the precipitation really ongoing out here towards eastern Oklahoma already. So this is going to start moving into western Arkansas within the next hour or two, which is going to put you right at 4 o'clock. So you're going to be a little bit earlier than expected, but something that just going to have to watch, okay? All right, so right now I got questions. I'm going to stay on here until about 3-ish, 3:05, and then I'm going to hop off, take an hour break, get some food, and then we'll be back on here giving you guys updates here. So I love my middle people. I know I love them too. You guys are working. You guys are doing a lot out there, and we really appreciate you at this point. So there were 1 or 2 days in a few places that did not run, but yes, delivered everything we could. That is nuts. We had almost 3 feet of snow here last year. That is nuts that I had y'all out there and all that. That is crazy. That is some crazy information game. So I will have to walk home. In this tonight. How will the rain be? Let me see here. Will it be hard or drizzle? Time. Yeah, give me a time and location, and we'll go from there here. So let's see here. Region 8 Northeast Arkansas just put out. It says storm still moving in and looks really concerning. I agree. My problem particularly is this, and I'm gonna try to see if I can draw it out. Okay, I did not mean to do that. Okay, so are you gonna? Okay, so apparently it's not let me draw it out. But you see this darker blue line back here? Okay, let's do this for example. Let's turn this off. Okay, and let's do this. Okay, so we're back here. This line in here still has to make it to Arkansas. This has to make it here. Otherwise, it's going to be a freezing rain or sleet event here in Arkansas. Okay, 9:25. It's not terribly cold yet. And that's something we're going to watch as well. But this line in particular means the difference between freeze rain and sleet and snow. You need this to get here. And the problem is it's hanging on up there in northern and northwestern Arkansas. So you're missing the deeper, colder air aloft that's going to get you the freezing rain. It's going to get you the sleet and snow. But you're cold enough at the surface for freezing rain. So that's something we're going to watch very closely over the next couple of hours here. Still okay for church tonight? Just rain until then? Yes, you're perfectly okay for church tonight. If you have church tonight, you should be good to go, except for up here in northwestern Arkansas. You're going to have to watch this close. This band coming out of Oklahoma. We're going to watch that close over the next couple of hours here, guys. So tonight's plans, if you got to do it as early as you can. I want everybody at least off the roads before midnight. Okay? You got to be off the roads before midnight because this is when the bulk of the precipitation is going to really start coming in. Okay? Northwest Arkansas, I'm putting you right around 9 O'clock. Central and everybody else, you need to be off the roadways before midnight. Otherwise, your road conditions are going to be very hazardous across this area here, guys. So, y'all pray for Kim when you go to church tonight. Thank y'all, by the way. I'll keep an eye on things here for my employees. That's a good idea. Let me see here. Pike County, can we expect down there? It's going to be primarily freezing rain and sleet. It just depends on what you go off of. Main thing we're watching right now is this line. This line is going to be the difference maker. Okay? This has to get into Arkansas. This has to get into Arkansas. Otherwise, it's going to be an ice and sleet event here in Arkansas. Okay? This line has to make it. It absolutely has to make it. Alright? This is your loft freezing line. This is not your current freezing line, by the way. Your current freezing line is all the way into Arkansas here. Okay? This has to make it into Arkansas. It has to. If it doesn't, then all bets are off. It's probably going to be freezing rain and sleet across much of the area. But I'm very concerned about that here. So National Weather Service has a special sighting that's coming up that they're going to be looking at here shortly here, guys. So the Euro, I saw the Euro earlier. Okay, let me see here. Okay, so let me see here. Bryant public schools are closed due to inclement weather. Okay, so they are now closed for that. What time will it get here into Arkansas? I'm gonna try to do something real quick. And the reason why I don't, and folks, if y'all don't have our YouTube, go subscribe to us on YouTube. The Futurecast is up on our YouTube. So if you have questions, please let me know with that. But the Futurecast is on our YouTube at this point. Okay, another one's gonna come out as soon as this live stream is over here. But timing and all the information you need to know is gonna be on the page. All right. So Eastern Arkansas, it's gonna be late. We're talking probably 2, 3 o'clock in the morning before it even gets there. All right. Central, probably right around midnight. Eastern Arkansas, I had you guys at 8. I'm probably going to go 6 over here. Okay, because you're talking right around 3 o'clock now. This band is now starting to make its way towards Eastern Oklahoma and Western Arkansas here. So probably going to be around that time frame here. So wind update when precipitation begins. Looking at 20 to 30 mile per hour wind gusts with this, guys. All right. Please keep in mind, we're working very hard on our graphics here. So we're trying to slim out updates as literally as fast as we can here. But the majority is going to be 20 to 30 mile per hour wind gusts with this entire event, because you have a gradient here. And I'm going to show you, thank you for mentioning the wind, by the way. I'm going to show you the reason why wind is a big problem. Okay, so we're going to stop radar for just a bit. Okay, and we're going to talk about something. Okay, so your system's back out here. Okay, your system's here. Notice something. Do you see these white lines that just popped up? Okay, you see how closely packed those white lines are, especially up here in northwestern Arkansas. The closer those lines get, the bigger the gradient is going to be, and that's what's going to really pick up your wind speeds across the year. That's why we're saying 30 to 40 mile per hour wind gusts will be possible, because you got a strong Arctic ridge. Look at all that cold air, by the way. All that cold air has to come south, and it's fighting the southeast ridge. Take a look at just something for just a second. Look at your temperature difference. You've got teens in the Midwest, and you've got 70s in the southeast right now. That is a major temperature clash right now. All right, so you see what's going on here, and the closer that ridge gets to the other ridge, the closer those barometric lines are going to get, and that's where you're going to start seeing the wind potential with this. So I really hope that helped you guys out. We're trying to understand what the wind is looking like with this, but that's what we're looking at here. You can see the temperature difference, guys. 70s, even in some cases mid 70s versus teens in the Midwest right now. And we are unfortunately trapped in the middle, but we're on the north side of the middle side of this. So we're talking winter weather here versus severe weather. Had this low wind about 100 miles north, we'd have been dealing with severe weather with this setup. You've got 60s and low 70s out ahead of this system coming out. Okay, they're fixing to have to deal with severe weather over there. We're dealing with winter weather over here. So thankfully, this went south for us here in Arkansas. Had it gone north, we'd have been dealing with severe weather here in the natural state here. So we came close, but no dice with this event. This is winter weather primarily. Okay, so let me see here. Going over everything here. So is there? Yeah, I know. Melissa, I was just fixing to say the same thing. I mean, an Uber or a friend or something to help give you a ride. I really don't want you walking out in this here, or somebody at work that may give you a ride home here. So let me see here. Just listening to you guys and seeing Jonesboro in the area, maybe in a purple area. Yeah, up there in northeastern Arkansas, I'm very concerned for ice up there. And the problem is that I'm having, this line has to make it through. That's how crucial this is. That line that you're seeing has to get here. That will be your saving grace later on tonight for freezing rain. This doesn't make it here, it's going to be freezing rain and sleet. It's going to be a combo of both. Because what's going on is your 925, so 850's here, 925's here, and then, you know, the surface is where we are standing at right now. Okay? 925 is going to be below freezing, or at below freezing, okay? Alright? Give me 1 second, just updated temperature. Okay, so 925 is going to be at or below freezing. My problem is this. This is your freezing line aloft. This has to make it here. If it doesn't make it here, then you're going to have freezing rain and sleet mints across much of the area except for northwestern Arkansas. This is why we are forecasting snow up here in northwest Arkansas, because look at your 32-degree line already. It's flooring south. Alright? So that means that you're going to have your sleet, freezing rain brief, and you're going to go straight to snow over here in northwest Arkansas. That's why you guys are going to be the big winner, because your 850 is getting to you guys much quicker than the rest of us here in the natural state. This line is going to have to battle the mountains. The other lower cold air is going to go around it. So that's what makes this situation so dangerous. And another thing is that if temperatures bust and you're at 26, 27 degrees with freezing rain, catastrophic impacts. You're talking roads are done, power lines, etc. So that's my number one concern here with the bust in temperatures today being a lot lower than expected. Okay, so we're gonna have to watch that close. Big temperature difference right now: 66 in Camden, 25 in Harrison at this point here, and temperatures are going to continue to go down lower as we get towards later tonight and into tomorrow. If you do not have to go out, do not go out, folks. All right. Let me see. All right. So I don't have an award, so here's some stars. I appreciate that, guys. I really appreciate that here. So I'm gonna break away for a little bit. Hour break. Get some food. Relax a little bit. Look at trends, and then we'll be back. We'll give you guys an update. All right. I still have 400 people. If you guys got any lingering questions, please let me know. But I am gonna break away for just a little bit and kind of get some food and get ready for tonight, because the night's gonna be your big main event across Arkansas. That's when it's gonna start coming in. But take a look at this. Like, this is astonishing cold air, by the way. I'm gonna show y'all this before I head off of here. Look at this. That is a lot of cold air coming south, folks. That is why we're saying if you are thinking that Friday you're going to get out and everything's going to be good to go, you are mistaken. Look at this cold air coming in. This is a significant amount of cold air pouring south, guys. All right? That is a significant amount of cold air trying to pour southward, guys. So I think the majority of this, and I'm hoping the majority of this misses us to the north and east, but we are going to see a good amount of this cold air coming south. Okay, but that is a lot of cold air pushing southward, guys. All right, so let me see here. Warns and warns days and events ahead. Yep, that's what we do. That's exactly what we do, folks. We keep you guys informed on everything here. So that's all I got. I'm gonna kind of tweak some graphics here and there. All right. What's rest, by the way? I got my rest last night with the 4 hours of sleep I got. So let me see here. How far east of the Mississippi is that freezing line going to go? That remains to be seen, Josh. That remains to be seen. This is another reason why I'm going to show you this real quick. Okay. So we're going to zoom this back down home. All right, and we're going to go. Give me one bit. Let me turn this off for. Let me turn this on for this. Okay. So this line right here, okay, that's your 32-degree line coming in. That's at the surface, okay? So now this has to make it in order for you to get freezing rain. This back here, the darker blue that you see, that's the 850 coming in as well. So that's something that you're going to have to watch, something you're going to have to monitor over the next couple of hours, but it's still a wait and see over there here. So far east, I think this will probably get into North Mississippi or Western Mississippi before all said and done over there here, guys. So let's see here. I think that's it. That's all I got for you guys. I appreciate each and every one of you for being here. It's exhausting, it's hard work, but it is what it is. It's all worth it to keep you guys updated. It's all worth it to save some lives. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm kind of geeking out on this graphic right now. This took a lot of hard work. It took a lot of hard work for it to look this beautiful. If you're a graphic designer and you're looking at this right now, we'll just leave it at that, folks. But that's all I got for you guys right now. I'm gonna break away for about an hour, get rested up, get some food, get etc. We'll continue to keep you guys updated right here on your source for all things Arkansas weather.